Well, there was once a man who was on his deathbed, and the priest came over and said to him, before you die, you need to renounce the devil. So the guy was very reluctant to do that. And he says, it's really important. Before you go, you have to renounce the devil. And after repeatedly asking, he wouldn't do it. And he says, why are you so hesitant? He says, well, to tell you the truth, before I know which way I'm going, I don't really think it's a good idea to antagonize anybody. So there are some people who feel that they don't want to antagonize anybody. Even the devil, they won't antagonize. They could see horrible things going on. They won't say a word. The Bible speaks out against that. It says you must chastise the wrongdoer or you share in their iniquity. In American law, you don't have to. Someone's doing something wrong, you just mind your own business. Jewish law is different. There's an affirmative obligation to speak up. If only everyone would do that, perhaps the Holocaust would never have happened. Perhaps the genocide against Native Americans wouldn't have taken place. Perhaps women would have obtained the right to vote long ago. So today we see an effort to remake our educational system in our governor's image. We see an effort to rewrite history. And we now find out that they will be showing films to innocent children, a captive audience, from PragerU, a propaganda machine that has no business being in our school system. Some people think, hey, Rabbi, keep politics out of it. Stick to religion. That is the Jewish religion, speaking out against wrong. One of the worst crimes that you can do is identity theft. You steal someone's identity. My friends, if we're Jewish, or if we're religious, or if we're human, and we don't speak out against wrong, we are committing self-imposed identity theft in which we rob ourselves of our own identity as human beings to speak for truth. So I share with you today a passage from PragerU, which could be shown to children all across the state, describing Christopher Columbus as follows. He's an animated character, a very pleasant chap, and he says this: the place I discovered was beautiful, but it wasn't exactly a paradise of civilization, and the native people were far from peaceful. I will not tell you the details of Christopher Columbus's crimes, because they would be so vile and so ghastly and so horrific that all the peace and all the joy and all the tranquility that we seek on Shabbat would be destroyed. But if you'd like to know the detail, you can go home and check it out. Well, let's just say this. He initiated the two most horrific crimes in the history of the Western Hemisphere, the Atlantic slave trade and genocide. And he wasn't satisfied with just committing genocide. He mutilated and butchered people in hideous ways if they didn't collect enough gold for him, to the point that the native Taino and Carib tribes, which numbered 300,000 in the island of Hispaniola, numbered 500 50 years later, largely because of mass suicide and exploitation. This is something which we shall not abide. What does that have to do with the Torah reading? The Torah reading says, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Commonly translated, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Let me tell you what the words actually mean. If you go to the etymology, the roots of the word, Shema does mean to hear or to listen. It means to listen to the earth if it's groaning and straining. It means to listen to the cries of the oppressed. It means to listen to the people around us who are harming because of our insensitivity, and to respond in a positive way. Shema Yisrael, Yisrael is translated Israel. What does it really mean? It means one who struggles with God. What that means, my friend, is that we don't just merely accept blindly somebody's version of what God is that we learned from the past, or what some priest or rabbi or minister or Torah or book tells us. Yisrael means to struggle. It means to explore, to challenge, to inquire, what is this power that permeates this universe? We don't know exactly, but we know it's wondrous, it's awesome, it's magnificent, and it's within us. Shema Yisrael means to question authority and to try to find out what this really means and how we can channel it and interpret it in our life. Shema Yisrael Adonai. Adonai is commonly translated as God. There is no word God in Hebrew. God is an English word from the Germanic Gott. The word Adonai, and I hope I don't get struck from lightning. You're not supposed to say what the words actually mean. It's Yahweh. We think it was pronounced Yahweh. It's Yud He Vav He. That's the word translated as God. Eventually, Jews stopped pronouncing the word. What's Yud He Vav He? It's 4 vowels. Yud He YHYA. 4 vowels. It's like breathing. It's the breath of life. It's the breath of life that's in all of us, of every background, of every religion, of every faith. Not just in us, it's in every living thing. It's in all animals. It means it's all one. Are we treating our fellow species as one, as part of creation, or as something to exploit, as Columbus did with people who are different? It means that we should treat all as one, the breath of life. What does it actually mean, Yud He Vav He? In Hebrew, there's no verb to be, but this word means that which generates being or existence. When you start putting labels and start filling it up with dogma, you have to believe this book, or you have to believe in this person, or my God, or otherwise you're going to go to a bad place. It's all nonsense. Yahweh means that everything is all connected with this power, not one group or one religion or another. Yisrael Adonai, Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Finally, this power, Yahweh Echad. It's one. If we do anything to cause divisions between people, we're not following this path. By the way, criticizing or chastising another is what I said we're supposed to do as moral agents. Does that mean that we're causing friction between people? If we criticize, we can't do that. How do you reconcile that? You must criticize, but you must make all feel as one. If people are practicing intolerance and hatred and indoctrinating our students and we do nothing, we're not helping unity by saying nothing. Our goal should be unity without uniformity, community without conformity, diversity without divisiveness, and challenging error. If I say 2 and 2 is 4, and someone else says 2 and 2 is 5, I do no favors by not correcting that if I know better. And I do no favors by saying, well, let's compromise and say 2 plus 2 is 4.5. It doesn't work. The only thing that works is rational discourse between the religions, between the nations, between people. We must stop this divisiveness among political parties, among religions and nations. We must talk to each other in rational discourse. That should permeate everything we do. And so remember this. If you ever are at a celebration of life and someone says, this person was amazing, he never said a bad word about anyone, that is no compliment if that's a Jewish person. That is no compliment if it's a moral person. If you have nothing negative to say about anything that's going on in this world, you're just not paying attention. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Let us all celebrate the creative power that's in all of us and all living things. Let us recognize it is all one. Shabbat Shalom.